Spark holding on to a key level. We'll talk price action. XRP fans, I got juicy news for you along with yes, we're holding price as well. An exchange was hacked and they didn't tell their customers until Zach XBT broke the news. A self-proclaimed leader of the XRP army's got paper hands. Tether's printing money, but if it were to crash, would all of crypto go to zero? ETFs are on fire
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
along with the big lesson of don't dip your pen in the company inkwell. US tech CEO resigns after Coldplay concert embrace goes viral. Uh-oh, someone was caught with someone else's. No, it wasn't his wife. Busted. Now, before we get into the crypto news like XRP staying hot, holding on to support, you know the deal. We do your comments. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. Umardim says, don't mind the haters drinking their haterade in the comments. We appreciate you bringing the news even on weekends and vacations. Oh, trust me, if I'm getting haters, it means what everyone. It means I'm doing something right. Corbin Dallas Multipass says, if you've been watching the channel long enough, exchanges love when people sell off, right? Exchanges don't care if we're buying or selling. All they care about is making money on those transactions. Hence, Portnoy's in bed comments. What a weirdo. Dude was the self-proclaimed leader of the XRP army. So is BitBoy, and he's in jail. Doomslayer's hanging out with us on Twitter. That's right, I pulled some of the comments from Twitter. My Twitter information's linked down below. It says, convincing Klaus to never leave Guatemala. Stay here as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it. Well, I'm here for a little bit more. So as long as I'm in GT, I believe we're going to have what, everyone? Juicy action. And speaking of GT, I was blessed to see this today. Was absolutely awesome to see and embrace the local culture. Bitcoin sitting at 117,965 ETH, this 3585 XRP at 342. While what, everyone? The market seems to be holding. This is big, and specifically for XRP, you're going to see why here at the end. But remember, BitBoy says he always represented the XRP army. Well, have fun in jail representing the army essay. Indian exchange CoinDCX loses 44.2 million to hackers after an exploit. All right. Now, these exploits and hacks of exchanges are nothing new. I've been reporting about it for years and years and years. Here's the problem, though. They waited until they got called out to let their customers know. Zach XBT went public with the information on Telegram saying, looks like the India centralized exchange CoinDCX was likely drained for 44 million. He said the hacker's address got one ETH from Tornado Cash and then bridged part of the stolen funds to Solana Ethereum. Either way, what happened? Yeah, Zach broke the news, not the exchange. Could you imagine if you were participating in an exchange and they got hacked and they didn't even tell you? Right after Zach's post started circulating, Sumit Gupta, the CEO of CoinDCX, finally stepped up with a statement on X saying, hey, everyone at CoinDCX, we've always believed in being transparent with our community, hence I'm sharing this with you directly. What a fucking scumbag. If Zach XBT didn't call him out, do you think this CEO would have said anything about it? Probably not for a while. Tether's USDT commands 73% of stablecoin activity. Now, I know I got a lot of Tether haters out here, but here's the thing. If Tether were to go bust, it would take the entire crypto market with it. So trust me, you don't want Tether to go bust. In fact, check this out. We're going to swing it on over to XRP real quick because look at the volume real quick, okay? We go to the volume pairings for XRP, and I got them right here. The biggest pairing right now for XRP is XRP USDT, Tether. So no, you don't want Tether to implode. Active stablecoin wallets have grown by over 50% in the past 12 months, from 19.6 million to 30 million. A substantial growth can be credited to Tether along with USDC, and I believe USDC is going to be growing even more now that the Genius Act has been signed. I just wanted to share this because there's a lot of hate going on with Tether, but remember, a lot of the pairings and a lot of the ways people are getting into crypto is what? Through USDT. Spot BTC ETFs gained 363 million, I can't talk today, to extend the 12-day inflow streak. Okay, so this is part of the big news. You're seeing the bigs constantly buying. What happens when the Clarity Act passes? You're going to see even more buying. Spot BTC ETFs have attracted over 6.6 billion in 12 days. 6.6 billion, everyone. Spot ETFs gained 363 in one day, and they're now at 152 billion in assets under management. This is big. Not only do we have a retail explosion with price action, we also have what, everyone? An institutional explosion in price action. Now, HBAR, big story here is what? Over the 25-cent mark. That's kind of something we were looking at here, because you saw the move earlier in July where we kind of got to that 25-cent mark, but then we got pushed back down. Well, this recent move got us up even higher, and now we've been able to maintain that north of that mark. What's important, though, is this number right here. Even as the volume is starting to widen down, the price is holding. That is extremely important, all right? Especially with HBAR, because what have we seen? HBAR's had a little bit of problems. Now, that being said, what's the resistance, though? It's quite obvious right here, okay? Look at this candlestick and look at this one right here. These are two back-to-back hour candlesticks. Highs at 27 or 29.74 and 29.76. So, near-term ceiling right around that 30-cent mark. But look, we're north of the 25-cent mark. Zoom out a little bit, and you can see HBAR has really freaking worked. In fact, less than a month ago, we were at 12 cents. So HBAR has more than doubled their price action over the last several weeks. But like I said, the key is what? Holding support north of key levels, right? The key mental levels, 25 cents for HBAR. Now, XRP, the big news is here is similar, but it goes a step further, all right? Look at this flat line we've seen here over the last couple days. That's right. It appears to be that we're getting support north of that 330 mark quite substantially. 336 usually about right there is where we've been getting the support. That's big because look at the volume, down 64% in the last 24 hours. So even as the excitement is wearing off, XRP is still holding its price. And the big news is what? We've got the XRP ETF still coming. We've got the case that we want finally resolved. So you've got two direct things right there, and especially that spot XRP ETF that can give the market another boost. Now, that being said, volume is still nothing shabby. 6.8 billion in the last 24 hours. We're going to jump into those candlesticks. We're going to look at the 1 hour variant and see where that near-term resistance was. Near-term resistance on this move, 364, back-to-back candlesticks to that, 364, 365. But like I said, look at all these support bars right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them here in the last about day and a half, giving us support north of that 335 mark. So, zoom out a little bit, XRP fans. I understand. You're like, bro, but we kind of pulled back from our highs. Yeah, of course. People are going to take profits. But when they took profits, look what happened right away. Support kicked in. That's the key takeaway, is that we had a big run up. People took some profits. They lined their pockets with some cash. And then what? We didn't crumble and fall on our faces. We stayed north of some crucial points. And as I stated earlier, we've got two big fueling moments for XRP, along with what? The Clarity Act. And now that doesn't just benefit XRP, it benefits the entire crypto market outside of BTC and ETH, which we know have been getting that golden pass. But for real, we've got big direct things with XRP. We've got big things for the altcoin markets. And two of our favorites that we cover on this channel are holding key levels even after profit taking. So if we're able to do this, hold through this level through the weekend, this sets us up nicely for next week with what? Where hopefully we start getting the Senate debating the Clarity Act, which would what? Give us clarity on these assets. Now, that being said, what is something that I've been reporting on? XRP Strategic Reserve Asset Action. Well, guess what? You're going to have a lot more companies feel comfortable doing that if that Clarity Act passes, right? Because as of now, people can say whatever they want. Oh, Tor is this and Tor is that. Torres is not the law of the land. She is a judge that interpreted the laws, just like Gensler interpreted what? The old laws. But now that the Geniuses Act in play, not much interpreting left on stablecoins. We just need some clarity for the rest of the market. Now, when we saw the Senate vote on the Genius Act, it took them 1 week to send that action on over to the House. Yeah, maybe they were using snail mail. I don't know. Maybe they walked it over by hand. No, if they walked it over by hand, it would be super fast. So I don't know. Maybe they bounced it off to some server to China, then to Russia. I don't know. Either way, it took them about a week. So now what are we going to do? We're going to see how long it takes for the Clarity Act then to be sent to the Senate, and we get to learn what? They're going to debate on it. They're going to see if they can pass it cleanly or if they have to modify it. If they modify it, you know the deal. It goes back to the House for their approval on the modified bill, and then we get the clarity that we've been looking for. But the reality is XRP and HBAR are holding on to crucial levels right now. We knew there was going to be profit taking. Come on, you can't always be printing those green candlesticks like crazy and expect the market just to absolutely roar 24/7. No, people are going to take some profits, and it's the weekend, right? It's not like you could sell your stocks now and put some money in your bank account. No, the crypto market is the only place where these players are able to what? Play. So they took some profits, we held strong, and now we're waiting for clarity. Maybe I should just stay here in Guatemala. I'm having an absolute blast. I just don't know if my wife would appreciate it, but every time I go on vacation, the market seems to pump. Let's just do another vacation. Maybe vacation for the rest of the year. Choo choo what? Choo choo nachos. And again, if you get the chance, go to Guatemala and don't listen to the tourists out there that say skip Guatemala City. Guatemala City is absolutely awesome. It's been the nicest people ever. The food is fresh and amazing. And honestly, they've got a lot of pride. And I've seriously been blown away by how awesome this place is. Choo choo what? I already said it, but I'll do again. Choo choo nachos.